Morning, hello guys. I hope you're doing good. You're having a good day. I hope you guys are okay. And out of 10, in a scale of 10, how how can you rate your day? I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are starting a new thing. Hope you have installed your PostgreSQL and those stuff. Today is a lesson to be learned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have 371, so our target is 380. So you can see down there on the screen written 371. I hope you can see that. So if someone subscribes, so the live comes right there 370. So like the video and make sure we support each other. For the donation, just in my descriptions, go and go and donate to help out kids in Africa. So now we begin introduction to SQL and databases. What is a database? So that is the first question. Today we don't have many people, right? So, but we continue. Anyways, what is a database? Chat. What is a database? Without linking this. So we don't know. So let's continue. A database is an organized collection of data stored electronically. So this electronically is not correct. So don't ignore that part that says store electronically. Think of it like a digital filing cabinet where we store different types of information. Okay? Example, in a company, a database stores employee details, salaries, departments, and more. Okay. What is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Okay? It's the standard language for solving data, retrieving data, updating data, deleting data. Let's go back to where we started a database. So let me explain to you in my own ways where you can understand the big picture. Take it as a database as a container, big container, where we store information such as names, age, and type of employee, those stuffs, okay? Names, age, type of employee, right? Store those kind of information. These informations are called data sets, okay? Those are data. So those information, we store them in a big container named database. So imagine now that is my data set, okay? That is my name, age, and employee type, right? There's another data set different from that one, the one I have mentioned. For example, there's another data set that says about marriage, marital status, talks about departments, talks about and what else can we say? Maybe phone numbers. Okay, that is a different data set. So they are not the same. They have different columns, different rows, right? So now, and we both both of those data sets we store them in a big container. So to separate them from those containers so that we don't mix them, we we put them each data set we put them in a small container, right? Those small containers is what we call schema. So that to avoid mixing data sets, to avoid confusion, so we put them in a small container, then each data set we put them in a small container, then we transfer them into the big container. Now we insert them in that big container. So what we have said is that a database is a big container and data sets are stored in small small containers named schema, which are then put in the big container that is database, right? For example, you want the okay, let's say for instance, let's say you want to get the name and the employee type, right? So for you to get that, first you talk to the database, and the language you use to talk to the database is SQL. You first extract this the schema. You say I want that schema, right? That small container that contains names and employee type. So you take that, then open it and get yourself the name and the employee type. Okay, and that is what basically now we have covered what database is and what schema is. And then the language we used to talk to database, we said it is a SQL. That's what we have covered. Make sure you note it down. What is SQL? SQL is a structured. Now we are in this part. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. We talked about this yesterday. It has to be structured and it is in query. So query said is expo past high school. We saw that we have mathematical expressions. So, but this one in SQL is different. The query in SQL is in English, right? Okay, language, and we said this one is used for organized expression communication, right? So, but we use this structured query language. So this is the name we use. So you can also combine this SQL by pronouncing it as both of them are accepted. The way you pronounce it, as long as you understand, there's no problem the way you pronounce it. It is the standard language for storing data, training data, updating data, and deleting data. So you want to store data into the database. You talk to the you use SQL language to talk to the database for you to store the information. You want to retrieve data, you want to get data from the database. Talk to the database using SQL and get your data. Updating data. So you want to add another column. So for instance, the data set that I said it had the data set earlier on I said had names, employee type, and age, right? So you want to add a column that talks about the email now. So you are updating the data. So for you to update the data, use SQL. Deleting data. So you want to delete that data set. Such as the data set that I said about just in a minute. The data set I said a minute ago about the names, employee type, and age. So let's say you want to delete that data. So you just go to and talk to the database, delete that data. As simple as that. Use that language named SQL. We also said that SQL was created in 1970. So it's not a new language, but it has been used often. Recently, the world has gone into the AIT side. Now, long as this time we're using it. Time. All right. Now let's go to the real world example. Let's say HR wants to know how many employees they have. They use SQL to ask the database. This is an English language. How many employees we have? So you talk to the database and say, count the employees we have, right? That is uh, how the SQL language looks like, right? Now let's go to why do we to manage the product inventory, so you need to use SQL. Track customer orders. So for you to track customer orders, you also need SQL. And lastly, run reposition. You can also use Python. But, all right. So now today we are in SQL. Okay. Classroom exercise. List three places where you think databases are used daily. Can you mention that? I'll give you a minute. Okay, let's continue after we see the answers. So places where we use databases daily include maybe let's say supermarkets, schools, and maybe retail industry. Okay, 20% too. We have database management system. So database management system. So you can get the meaning from the meaning of DBMS that the containers are well placed. The small containers are well placed. Small containers are well placed. When I say small containers, I mean schemas are well placed. We use DBMS. Say DBMS, that is database management system. So it manages the system, right? Management system. So it manages the system from the word that DBMS. So you can get the definition. So down there, after saying that, we have something a software to create, manage, and maintain databases. Say that that is what DBMS is. So we have different types of DBMS. Let's check out. We have relational DBMS. Use tables with rows and columns. So this is a type of DBMS that uses tables, rows, and columns. For example, PostgreSQL, MySQL, and Oracle. Okay, those use and those use tables with rows and columns. When I say that, I mean that. Let me just go for you. So this is the type of the data we are going to use. Okay, this is the one that we are going to use for as a data analyst. We are going to use relational databases. So the rest three are for data engineers. Okay? If you want to become a data engineer, make sure you go for this. Okay, three. Now, what this means is that we have a table. So this is a table. Okay, this is so in Excel we talked about this, right? Just like Excel. Okay, this is a column going downward a column, and let me just add something like that. Okay, going downwards, going vertically is a column. We have two columns here, and we have one row. This one is a row going horizontally. So we say that relational database management system uses tables, rows, and columns. So yes, for instance, let's say we have something called like okay, names. Okay, here names. Okay, here names. We have names. We have employee types. Employee type. Okay, employee type one. So we have one. So names are written down at the column. We have names, the headers, names, employee type. So down there where we have the row, that's where we insert information. So here we have so many rows. That's where we store information. So that is basically what it means when we talk about relational database management system. We say it stores informations in in tables. So using rows and columns. Okay. So for those examples, we said we use PostgreSQL, MySQL, and Oracle. So that is why I said for you to we store PostgreSQL this because this is the one that I use. You can also install MySQL because it also has same features, nothing different. Okay, NoSQL DBMS. So let's just pass through this, but make sure you have understood this. This is the one that we are going to use as a data analyst. NoSQL DBMS. So relational store stores Johnson key value or graph data. So it's about graphs. Okay, this one doesn't. It's not structured. Okay, it uses graphs. MongoDB, for example, is MongoDB and Cassandra. Okay, in memory DBMS, so we store data in RAM for fast access. Okay, we store data in RAM for fast access. So that is for in memory DBMS. So for example, we have Redis, Cloud DBMS, cloud hosted management uh, by providers. Okay, and Azure database for PostgreSQL, Amazon RDS. PostgreSQL is a relational database. This means that we store uh, our employees' data in a structured tables, like the one I created. You guys remember yesterday I told you to download what PostgreSQL because even when you're writing the CV, you have to specify. Don't just say SQL because SQL is very very big. To be honest. As you can see, we have so many database management systems. These things function differently as an intermediate or let's say intermediate data analytics. You use PostgreSQL, right? So PostgreSQL is way different from NoSQL DBMS. As you can see, NoSQL DBMS, this one doesn't even use SQL to be honest. NoSQL DBMS. So we have something like graphs that are very complicated, but it can be done. So this is for data engineers. If you're a data engineer, if you are willing to take data engineer after this course, go ahead and do it. We have in memory DBMS stores data in RAM for fast access. That's what we said. And cloud DBMS is the last one. Okay. We said Postgres relational database. This means we store our employee data in a structured tables. Okay. Now, and the last part, let's talk about lesson 3. That was for lesson 2. Lesson 3, this one here, data type. So we deep dive into character types. Excellent. So since you are teaching beginners, so this is to me now, they're telling me since you're teaching beginners, I will give you a very clear, specifically focusing on PostgreSQL since you are using dbeaver. Alright, guys, make sure you have downloaded dbeaver from your Microsoft Store. That is very important. I will include simple definitions, real world example, when to use each type, note for students, table summary for your classroom notes, optional exercise for practice. SQL data types. What are data types? Okay, in SQL data, this thing we will understand it more when we start running the queries. Okay, we will understand even more. In SQL, data types define what kind of data can be stored. All right, each column of the table, the right kind of data goes to the right column. So from this, we understand that data types define what kind of data. Is it numeric? Is it string? Is it boolean? All right, those are data types. But let's go. So first, you have to remember that they help us control our data in our database, and they make sure that the right data goes to the into the right column. So you have to remember that. Now we have different types of data types, right? The first data type is numeric data type. Under numeric data type, we have integers, serial, numeric, and decimal. So numeric is for numbers. This is the data type that we use. These are the numeric data type. We have if it is a whole number that doesn't have decimals, then it is an integer, right? Age, quantity, IDs. When to use, we use it when we're writing age, when we're writing quantity, and we are writing IDs, so employee ID. That is when we use integers. The next one is serial. So auto incrementing integers is place only. So serials, for example, let's take it this one. We have you have done an exam, and so in your school we have position 1, 2, 3 after the last one. So that is what we used to have in our school. So I don't know for you guys. And us to arrange or arrange the rank, right? So the position one, we start with the highest will be position one, okay? Uh, Followed by position two. So for you to implement those integers, for them to follow that order, you just press serial, what we call serial, okay? Now that is what we mean by serial. So we also need to, like it says when to use. So primary keys, use the primary keys. I will tell you what primary key is. Uh, Let me just define for you right now, but you will understand more when you are doing this stuff. Primary key is a unique feature that each table has. Right? For example, employee ID, we cannot have duplicates in employee ID. We cannot have two employees sharing one employee ID. That is impossible. Such as even the serials, as you can see the examples 1, 2, 3. There, we cannot have two people sharing one. That is impossible. We cannot write 1, 1. So, okay, in some school there is, but that is impossible when we are using serial. We will talk about that when we are talking about when we reach window functions. Now let's continue to numerics. Numeric, it has both the whole number and decimals, right? Precise number P, precision, scale, decimal point. Okay, this one we use it when we are writing money, salary, and or percentages. Now we have the last one is decimals. So same as numeric alliance. You can just write numeric or decimal. So it has same thing. So 8 to this, what this means is that we have eight uh, 8 digits that contain that will have two decimals. 8 digits that have two decimals. Okay, this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, they left something, yeah. So it means that we have 8 digits with two decimals. Okay, that is why it means when you're writing decimal, there's the first one represents the total number of digits. The second one represents how many decimals you want. Okay, you put comma, then you separate, then you put your number that you want, then close the bracket. Now we have this. The second type of data type is string data type. This one does nothing to explain more. So inside string data type, we have what we call car and vaka. Car and vaka. Car means character. You can see from the it came from the word character. Vaka means variable character, means it changes. Okay, and we have text. This one is just a normal one. Okay, okay, let's continue. Car, fixed length strings. So when you are aware of the total numbers of of uh, of a character, For instance, you know that four numbers have 10 digits. Let's not use four numbers. I have confused. So you want a column. Let's say you want to create a column. Names, right? You want to create a names, and in that column, you don't want names that exceed 13 letters. So you put what you call fixed characters. So you close that. I mean, you don't give them options to exceed 13, more than 13. So you just put there car 13. So this one does not exceed 13 anymore. When to use four numbers. By the way, this there's a confusion there. Four numbers, people we use it as a string data type, even though it is in numbers, right? Four numbers cannot be letters. Even though that is the case, we use it as a string data type. Okay, make sure you stick with that. So the second one, vaka, variable character. So let's say you want names that can reach about 50. So this one doesn't have to do with uh, it's not the fixed one. Then we did just write about the character. Variable character, you're given option to even exceed by one, by two, but uh, it means that it is ranges around 50. That is what variable character means. You're given the option to exceed or to reduce. Unlike that one, car, it's very strict. You cannot exceed even by one, two. Text. Text is just a normal is a normal thing. If you want to write names, you just write text, and if you want to write the descriptions for your products. So product descriptions, comments is date and time. Date and time, that stores explanation. We are told stores data only, and want to use birth dates, higher dates. That is when to use date. Okay, timestamp, date and time. So when you this one is used for shift time, right? So as you can see, it has date, the date here, and the time. So updated timestamps. So those are where you can only see the time on the that is 2:30. This one we use it the shift start time. Employees actually do shift, right? Someone comes from 2:30 up to some at that time. Then there's another one that will come after that. So there's a shift time. Example, make sure you hit the like button. All right, and store employee hired it, right? So this is now gives you uh, employee a boolean data type is active is admin availability. So when you want to check a product maybe in your store, we will use boolean data type so to know that if the product is still there. For instance, you say, do we have this product named so and so? Please stock it. Okay? Let's do a recap of what we just said. Even don't even consider it, just leave it. Okay, we have one, two, three, four. We have four data types. Explanations. When you are using numeric, then you're dealing with numbers. String. When you're using you're dealing with dates information. Okay, this one. What type of data will you use? Employee salary. That is a question that you guys need to answer. Employee salary is a number. Think of it that way. So, what type of data are we going to use for that? Mm, Okay, let's continue. Employee salary is a number, so we use numeric data type. Employee name is a name and has characters, so we use string data type. Product availability in stock. So you want to know, do you have this kind of product? Yes or no? Then I mean false or true. So then we use boolean data type. Employee hire date, date, data time, data date, data type. I mean. Comment or review is a text. I hope you know that, and make sure you always remember those informations. They are very important when we are writing the queries. But as we do this too much, as we do it daily, it will be in your fingertips. So you will just write it automatically, and so you don't even have to practice because you will 100% remember all these information once we start running queries. So the first day you might be struggling, the second day also, but the third day I'm 100% sure if you have been attending the class and following up, then you will be able to write all these queries without errors. So practice table. So create on table. So now this is what string. This is what SQL looks like. Okay, for relational database management system. This is a PostgreSQL. This is how it looks like. But I don't want to confuse you. So let's first start with this. Then we can go back to this for me to explain what is this. So this one has a lot of information. Okay, but we can, for me to explain the data types, I have to first explain to you. So create a table students. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. I don't want to confuse you. Table creation. A table in a SQL is like a spreadsheet. It stores data in a row and columns. Okay, each column has a name and a data type. Remember that each column has a name and a data type. Each row is a record. Each row is a record. Okay, this is another name of a row. Another name of a row is a record, and another name of a column is a field. So make sure you note that down. So we said that it stores information in rows and columns. Each column has a name and a data type. Each column has a name and a data type. Make sure you remember this. Make sure you remember this. Each row is a record. You also need to remember this. But this one is not important. I don't remember this. But these two, make sure you grasp them. Close your eyes and say it again. It stores data in rows and columns. Each column has a name and a data type. Close your eyes and do so. It it stores data in row and column. Each column has a name and a data type. That is, you should remember that. Now we can go back to our table and explain what is it. So we are told to create a table for students. Our table name is what? What is our table's name? So our table's name is called students. So you will talk to the, you will use SQL to explain this. For example, you say create table students. So what is SQL is going to do is it's going to create a table named student. Then you open a bracket. After opening a bracket, okay, you you put them this, you align this information the way this person has arranged. Okay, student underscore ID. This is the name of a column. Okay, this is the first column. So you're saying inside the table, the first column should be named student's ID. Then you said serial. Remember, serial is a, it goes after the first one, after the first row has been done, it names one, then it goes to two, Then it after the information have been written in the second row, it goes to 3. That is what serial means, right? Then you say primary key. Okay, this one is a very important part. Primary key, it means unique features. So for instance, student ID cannot be a duplicate. So each table must have one primary key. Remember that. And the primary key should be the first one, and it should have these characteristics right down. A primary key should be a unique identifier. Okay, it cannot be a duplicate. Student ID cannot be shared by two students or three students. It's only for one student. One student, one student ID. Two, uh, two student ID, two student, two students student ID. So a student ID number cannot be shared. Okay, we all have this, and our ID number is different from others. All right, it's a unique identifier. So we put there down a primary key. So this serial is what we call then the data type. It talks to it tells SQL that this thing is a number. Student ID is a number. So if you can remember, under numeric data type, we had serial. So serial is a numeric data type. So you put there serial, and primary key is my unique identifier. That's what you say. So the second column, I said first name. The second column is name, first name, varchar, variable character. So not more than 50. Uh, so this one is 50, 50. So I put them 50. When you're not sure the number of the length of a character, just put varchar 50. It is very very important, as you don't know how many characters we have. So what we are going to do is even if a name exceeds, let's say has 51 characters, so if you want to refuse, we'll just accept equal and write down that name. Able to write down that name. Okay. Last name Baka also 50, which is very good. Date of birth, so that's the fourth column, date of birth. So date of birth, date, it has to do with date. So the data type will be date. Okay. Email, so it's a string, Baka, so 100. Even if your email length is above 100, don't refuse. Okay, but it should be sensible, not 200 or 300. It should be at least even 110, 105. There's no problem with that. Okay, is enrolled boolean default true. Okay, this one, these are the informations that you need to remember. Okay, once when we're creating a table, we say create table student. So this is the name of the student. Okay, the name of the table. Sorry, that. Then you put then the columns you want. First you put the column name, then the data type. That is must. Okay, you have to put the data type. This is, as you can see, we have a column, then data type. We have a column and then a data type until we have reached this part. So where we say is it true or false. This one I said it has a different way. It's different from other data types. So this one we only use it to check if it is a true or false. Okay. Now let's continue. Basics now will explain to you how it is done. We set create table name, then column one name, then the data type, then constraints. Constraints are just like a primary key. Okay, that is how it is done. Make sure you remember this. Okay, it's a very very important information. Make sure you note down. Let's continue. Okay, so create table command. Command to create a new table. Table name. So the name you want to create your table, column name of each field, the type of column, right? Those are the data type. And constraints, this is optional, like not null, primary key, etc. But I repeat again, each table must have a primary key. This one is not must, but this one is very important because I want to arrange our data very well. This is a unique identifier. So primary key is very important to me. Not much, but it's very, very important. I suggest that when you're creating a table, make sure you use primary key. So remember that information. Okay? That is the only constraint that is very, very important. Okay, let me take you through other types, other constraints. So we have these constraints. We have primary key, not null, unique, default, and foreign key. So foreign key is a primary key of another table. So you're bringing to another table. So foreign key is a primary key of another table, and you are using it, okay, in a different table. Okay, that is what foreign key is. I hope you have understood. Okay, default, unique, all these are constraints. So this is the most important one, followed by this. Okay, and these informations you can play with them whenever you want to do. Okay, now that we have done this information, now let's go back to this. I want us to do it practically. So make sure you open your Vivo. We are going to write this information. So we are going to run this query and see by ourselves. If you haven't installed PostgreSQL, please make sure you hurry up and do so. If you don't know how to do it, you can literally say right now and I correct you because I want us to be in the same level. You can check out the other YouTubers. Okay, there's so many tutorials of how to install PostgreSQL. Okay, but if you don't know, you can just text me or email me. Yeah, my email is found in my main page, right? So you can email me and ask you. I'm stuck somewhere. I will definitely help you. Don't worry. I don't mind helping people. Okay, I will help you even if it is 2 a.m. Now let's go and create our data type, our table. Let me put this mic well so that. All right. I think I see. I mean, I hope you can hear me though. Okay. Now let's implement. So we are going to create a table named employee. So we don't even have to be specific as this. Once you open your deliver, it will look like something like this. Okay. So even though there will be something, but I hide it so that it looks like this. So create table employee. Okay. Okay. What we are going to do now is the employee ID. The first one is employee ID underscore ID. Okay. Let's say serial. Okay. Then we are going to put primary key, all right? Then put comma. After you have finished the first column, this is the first column, you put comma. Okay, names, first name, mm, first name underscore name, then we say car, or let's say baka 100. Okay, is it correct? I don't know. Okay, back they should be at there. Put their comma. That is our second column. We are finished. Now we are going to the third column. Second name. So okay, second name underscore name. Let's say let's use car. All right, maybe let's say 100. Now that we are finished, so the last column you don't put commas. Okay, you leave it that way and move it and close your brackets. Now you can close your bracket and at the end put semicolon. Okay, now you can run by just selecting all of them, then control enter. Boom, we have now created our table. So for you to see the table, you go to the next line. As I've done, just enter, then move to the next line, then type select. So this, what is it? Okay, select. With that star means select all. Okay, means select all from employee. Okay, employee is my table's name. Okay, and let's find that informations. We'll enter. Boom. This is how our table. Oh my days. Sorry for that, guys. Sorry for that. Wow, wow, wow. Shit, man. Just noticed that we are going through this information. I was doing it at that time. Wow, wow, wow. Sorry for that. Okay. I said that when you're creating a table, you just say create table employee, then you open bracket employee ID, and that is my first column. Then you put serial because employee ID is a number. Okay, primary key. This is very important because it's a unique identifier, and each table must have one primary key. Okay, then the second column is name is a first name. They are variable character, so we put them 100. So this means that the name should not exceed 100 characters. Okay, now in the second name, put in car. This means it is very specific. It should not exceed completely 100. It is 100, 100. It should be 100. You cannot, if you type more than 100, it should bring errors. Okay. Now I said that after doing that, after doing that, okay, because you, as you can see there, if you try to run this twice, it will tell you employee already exists. Okay, you cannot run a table after you have already done the first time. Okay, but let's try and draw. I want to show you something. Uh, draw table employee. Employee. Let's see. After you run this is the formations that you are going to see. Okay. Okay. If you see something like it means that your query ran successfully. Okay. For you now to see the table, you have to write down, select now, control enter. As you can see now, our table is ready and it has columns, and we have to now to put informations. So this is what we meant by PostgreSQL. Our data is stored in tables, that is in row and column. So this is column, this is column 2, this is column 3, then these are the we are on 371. That is basically how we create tables. Okay, and after this we are going to do what we are going to insert informations in that table. Okay, and I hope you have understood how this means. And one thing that I would like to remind you that this information select statement will come across a lot of times, so you will use it most of the time. So select means to retrieve data. Okay? It means retrieve data from employee. So select all. So that stash means all. Okay. Select all from employee. Then it displays these informations at the down there. We have the columns, employee ID, first name, second name. Those are the information that has been displayed. Okay. I repeat again, select means to retrieve data, and we are going to use most of the time. We are able the name of the table, which is employee. I think you have understood that. Okay, if you have a question, you can ask right now. Okay. Now let's go back to our notes. Let's go back to our notes. Now, and that is how it is written down. Okay, and explanations. Employee ID integer primary key. So creates a column named employee ID that stores unique. That is a unique identifier. As you can see, a primary key is a unique identifier. It means that just remember that each table must have one primary key, and the characteristics of primary key is it should be a unique identifier. Is what primary key means. Now this where primary key steps in the table. Look for a unique ID primary key. Remember that. Just remember that. Okay. Now let's move on to the next. Adding constraints. We talked default and foreign key. We talked about this. And that is the information. So we said that constraints are not must. It's a must. It's a must. It's a must. Okay. Now let's go to create table. So these are the information. So we have already done this thing. So now let's go down there. Create table with relational when you want to link tables. Okay, this one is a different one. Okay, and we are going to do this tomorrow. That because foreign key means that we have two tables. Okay, you have a primary key of another table uh, that is used in another table. Okay, now let's go back. So we can even do it right now. Yes, should we do it? I suggest you guys suggest do it now or tomorrow because foreign key is a little bit complex as much as we can. Okay, okay. This means let's go back there. Department tips to remember. Okay. Always use singular table names such as employee. Don't use employee keys for every table. As I said, use meaningful names for columns. Just use good names. Don't put bad man's names. Just use a good name. Make sure you name your column right away. Prefer Vaka over car because unless fixed length is required. I hope you can hear that and you can see it with your eyes. Vaka is much and someone's name is not it is in 20 characters. That is very impossible, right? So okay, summary cheat sheet. Okay, we have create table as we did that. It creates a new table. So primary key, it uniquely identifies each row. Foreign key links tables together. Okay, not null variable character. Okay, size just the same thing. Date values. Okay, now that we have done this, and I would like to send you um, what do we call this? What why did I forget name? My article. Sorry for that. My head is. I'm going to send you an article that I have written down for beginners. That is an introduction to SQL. If you read that article, you will understand a lot of information. Okay, let me just send you. It's a free article that I have written down, and okay, let me just send it to you. An article, and make sure you read that article. And if you want to comment down there, just comment. Okay, this is the information. A minute. Okay, I need to buy a new phone. Content where you can create table creation script, create table creation script, those are the informations. Script, those are the informations. Okay, you guys can give me a minute. I want to talk to someone. Okay, okay. Okay, I'm back, guys. I'm back. Sorry for that. Okay, so we are in some enhancement SQL table creations. So set path lacks SQL. Now we are going to create a table. So this is a table. We have already created a table. Okay, now I wanted to show how to insert into a table informations. Okay, okay, let me show you how to insert information. So you type insert into this is the table name. Okay, then you open bracket, you put there the columns names, then you put values, informations and close bracket. That is it. All right. Let me just take you through there step by step. Okay, let's open our dbeaver. If you have opened your dbeaver, you can continue. So dbeaver, once you open your dbeaver, this is how it looks like. And let's say that okay, let's say that you're going to search information here in this table. So you say insert into employee. That is the table name. Okay, the table name. Okay, the table name. Okay, employee. Insert into employee. Okay. Once you are writing that, insert into employees. Okay, insert into employees. Then what do you do after writing that? You write the names of the columns. So that is the first one. We have employee ID underscore ID. Then put commas, separate by commas. Then we have the second one, and mm, and the last one is second name. And second name. Then you can now move there. After that, you put values. Okay. So now, after doing that, open brackets, put information. Now, put open brackets. Now, the first employee ID, we can put names such as let's say hmm, say maybe one, something like that. Okay. Make sure they're in comma. Then the second one is first name. Make sure you put single quote there. First name, let's say put comma there. Then the last one, second name, Ali John or Ali Mike. Alright. Now that you have put your information, so now you can now close your brackets and enter semicolon. Okay. Okay, let's now run this and see if it works. Control enter. Boom, it worked. Okay, now after these informations have been displayed, it means that our query has worked. So just select all from employees, control enter. There, boom, we have our name inserted there. Okay, the first one, so one represents the first column you have mentioned. Okay, the employee ID. Ali, then that's how you insert into tables. Okay. Okay, this is another the same thing there. We are going to create a table and you insert information as it said. Orders, same thing there. You get a table named orders. You put informations there, order ID such as customer ID, book ID, order date. Then you insert the same way. Nothing has changed there. Now that we have done those informations, you can now just so that we have finished those informations, right? I think that is the end of our class. Um, Guys, for the donation link, I think you guys need to support these people. It is, I'm much disappointed, to be honest, that only few people have donated so far. I cannot even say the amount, to be honest, because it's very, very little. To them. I cannot take that money to. It is just $20. Imagine that after 20 hours that you have put in work, so I cannot go and bring them, give them $20. So it should be even $100. Yep, that's when I am going to take the money to them. This money is very little. Make sure you donate as much as you can, even if it's $1. I'm saying this because what I've seen, to be honest, was that I will help. Everyone should donate. I'm doing my part. You do your part. I'm also donating to them. And if you guys saw the point of this channel to come together, help the community, right? Yes. So that is why I need your support also. This is where I want to reach as many people as we can. We collect the money, we learn, we help people, community grow together, and we will live in a beautiful world where we help out each other. Those students don't have uniforms that we are going to take the money to. Those students um, don't have shoes. The teachers have not been paid. They have not been paid more than 5 months. Yet they are just volunteering. They don't have food. They don't have stationaries. Okay, when you look at those kids, say that we have failed them. I can guarantee we have failed them. Those who donate are donating for shows. They just want to for clips. They want to clip farm or those stuff. But you guys, I think one of you should go there. One of you, if one of you goes there, you will be shocked and to see that the steps they are in. I've been doing this. I've been helping them for more than yeah, but I cannot do it alone. That is the fact. I tried my best. I can say I've done my best, but you guys also should do the best. Thank you so much for the subscription, Anna. And that's we have reached 372. That is wonderful. Okay, thank you so much. And we have to do our part. We have to do our part, and we must do our part. So this is day one today of SQL. I hope you have learned something. Make sure tomorrow you have your Diviva install those informations, and there if you are stuck in some, just you can go and ask me. And then there's a article that I have put there. There's a link there that will take you to my article that I have written down for beginners when it comes to SQL. Make sure you go and read that, and after the end of the stream, okay? I'll put it in the comment and pin it. So make sure you check it out. And tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. If you have any question, you can ask me. Okay? And for the donation, it is in my page. You can just click to my channel and you'll see there. Okay, or even in the description of this video. Okay, now you have a question, you can ask me. And that is the end of the stream. And thank you.